Okay, and there's something that I did forget. For these guys, they should have done a pre-shock readiness check. So I'm going to do this now. And worst case scenario, they will lose. Okay, these guys actually lose their TQ check, so they incur 1 hit. 3. And these guys, yeah. These guys, we will see how they fare. Roll a die, 4. This should be fine. Yeah. So again, this is a bit confusing. I mean, the fact that you have to determine if they're ready to be shocked. I find that always a bit strange. But hey, okay. So let's move over here and see how these guys fare. Here again, we need to check if these guys... No, we don't need to check anything because they're engaged in shock combat, in which case we don't have to check for their readiness, I think. At least not to my knowledge. Yeah. All non-engaged targets of shock now undertake a reaction check. So basically these guys don't need to because they're all engaged in shock combat. So we will first resolve this one here. This AS is going to attack this AS. AS versus AS is 7 on the chart. We roll a 5, which is 2 and 2. So this one is in at 5. And this one is at 3. Now this one is going to attack this one here. So it's SI versus SI, but we definitely have position superiority. So this means that the hits on this one will be doubled. So SI versus SI is 7 again on the chart, 8, which is 2 on the attacker and 3 on the defender, but seeing as it is doubled, this is 2 and 6. First of all, we're going to give these guys 2, so that brings it up to 4. And now these guys get 6, which 6 plus 3 is 9. Now their TQ is actually 7, so they're now over their TQ, and this would mean that usually they would be disrupted, but since they got this high number of hits due to position superiority, they rout. So these guys rout, take them out, put them here in the rout area, and these guys get to move in here, advance after combat. Okay, now these two are going to attack this one here. So and this one is already disrupted. So we have an SI and an KBH. Now I get to choose which one I'm going to use. And I'm going to use the one that is more more conducive. KB versus AS is 8 and SI versus AS is 9. So we're going to use number 9. We also have numerical superiority, which means we have a two right adjustment. So basically we have 11 and I roll a 9. On the 11, this means 1 on the attacker and 4 on the defender. So I'm going to choose where to assign this one. I'm just going to assign it here. And the defender gets 4, which is actually quite high considering that their TQ is only 5. So I'm going to put this here. And again, they are engaged in shock. I'm going to leave this here. So, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll for continuity, and Mori loses because I roll a 7. I would need 4 or less. So now it is Amako, and they get to go. So Amako can now basically move all of their troops because all of them are active, so they can issue orders to all of them. And let's see what Amako can do, because of course Amako is the smaller one. So basically here we have the possibility of fire attack. Up here or down here, this group is as we can see, it's disrupted and it has 4 cohesion hits, so it might make sense to move them out. The Yamanaka should definitely start moving, and up here this one is a bow unit, which can basically just sit here and attack these guys. These ones are engaged in combat, so they must shock. This one can move and then also shock. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be, first of all, moving this one. And it must shock, and it doesn't need a TQ check because it was moved beforehand. So now we're going to take these ones and we're going to have them move in here. 1. Seeing as they also moved, they don't need to do a TQ check. But these guys need to do a readiness check, which I'm going to do now. I roll a 1, that should not be a problem. So they are fine. These guys are going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, actually, I don't think I can do this. No, I can't, because this is 1, 2. Oh yes, I can. 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's light woods. But this one can't cross because I would expend 2 movement points. Sorry. I would expend 2 movement points going across here and then 2 movement points for this wood, so it doesn't work. So then we have 1, 2, and I think they actually can cross 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Just change facing, which is okay. So they're going to move in here. Okay, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to go into the firing phase. And let's see if these guys, yeah. This one is also going to shock, but here we need to do a TQ check. Why are they not engaged in? They should be engaged in combat, actually. So, okay, so now we're going to do the firing phase first. Where's my die? Here. I roll a 0, oh god, and this is ASB, 1 hex, basically no hit. This one's done. This one up here is going to fire as well. 4. Is 1 hit, so they suffer 1 hit. Okay, now that is all of them. So now let's see if we can withdraw this one. This is going to be interesting because withdrawal is a bit different in this game because of the Busho Code of Honor. Withdrawal is a voluntary retreat. There are 2 types of withdrawal, active withdrawal and reactive withdrawal. Okay, active withdrawal is an order given to all units in a contingent. Okay. Okay, so basically they cannot withdraw without withdrawing everyone else in this contingent. So if I was to withdraw these guys, I would also have to withdraw these guys. I cannot just withdraw 1 unit. I would also have to withdraw these guys over here. So I would essentially have to withdraw the whole contingent. So now the dilemma is, if they stay here and they're engaged in combat, they will have to fight these guys and likely lose. But I cannot actually remove them because this would mean I would have to remove the whole combat, the whole unit. So this means they will die. Okay, so let's do this really quickly. I roll a 6. I have I have AS versus, I'm going to choose the one that's best for me. I'm going to choose KB, which is 5. Now, that's CRT column 5. I have a 2 left adjustment because I'm disrupted, which brings me down to a 3. And then I'm also in, if you will, in inferiority because these guys are numerically superior. So it's another adjustment to the left, which is 1. Now I've rolled a 6 on the 1. This means the attacker takes 4 points and the defenders take 2. So these guys are at 5 then. These guys are at 7. And these guys are eliminated because they are disrupted and now they have more hits than cohesion. So they are eliminated, which means that they get to move into the hex. Okay, so that's that. Now, next one over here. These AS are going to engage these AS. Very simple. AS versus AS is 7. No modifiers. Let's roll a die. 6 means 2 on the attacker, 2 on the defender. So the attacker is at 5. The defender is at 7. And this means they are disrupted. These ones have already gone. They engaged in shock. So now this one is also gone. They shot, nothing happened. So now this one has to attack both. And both have to get ready to see will they incur a hit. This rolls a 9, so they incur 1 cohesion hit. This one we did already, they didn't incur anything. So now what's going to happen is I get to choose which one to use. So I'm going to choose this one because it's first of all, because the angle is better. So it's AS versus AS. That's 7 minus 2 is 3. I roll a 1 on the 3, which means 4 on the attacker and 2 on the defenders. 5, 2, and 5. And yeah, still okay. Okay, now what we have here is TQ equals cohesion hits. So they are now disrupted. Oh no, actually it says AST and XB units with cohesion hits are eliminated. Okay, so these are actually eliminated. Very interesting. So they are eliminated. And it means completely eliminated. They cannot be routed. So they cannot be rallied. So these move in here. And let's see what happens next. We have this one up here, shocking this one down here. So that's AS versus SI. That's 5, and they are in woods, which means 1 shift to the left, which brings us to 4. So I'm going to roll a die. I roll a 5, which means 3 on the attacker and 2 on the defender. 3, 5, engaged in shock. AS versus SI, again 5, one to the left because of Lightwoods. I roll a 2, is 3 and 2. So they are at 3, and they're now also at 3. And again, they are engaged in shock. And here we are. These SI are going to attack these AS. There's nothing happening. They're all in the clear. So SI versus AS is 9. And I roll a 4. That is 2 on the attacker and 3 on the defender. So that's 5 here. And 5 here. Sorry, and 6 here. So, and they're engaged in shock. Okay, now we will see if Amako can continue with a 0. Yes, they can. So now they can give orders to one contingent, and this contingent is going to be this one down here. And here we've got KB, Kabemusha. Those are the, if you will, the cavalry. They're a little bit like the knights in Infidel. They can do something called charging. And this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to try and do this. So let's see. To charge, we will have to, it's called Nori Kutsushi, Cavalry Charges, page 18. So I'm going to look it up in the rulebook. So I just have to make a decision that I want to charge 1, 2, which is not a problem. So basically I would go 1, 2. What happens is as soon as I move in, let's see, these guys, ASB will defend. So what's going to happen is they are going to have to make a pre-shock commitment, a defender reaction check. In all Nori Kutsushi charges, defending foot units add 1+ to their reaction check. So I have to check how they will react to being cavalry charged by these guys. I roll a 9. Oh, that's way beyond their cohesion, their TQ, so they actually take 1 hit. I'm going to move these guys in, and I'm going to shoot at them, and they're going to reaction fire. So AST, 4. They incur 1 hit. These guys 8. Oh wow, that was a very good roll. These guys take 3 hits. They're just going to cross. And they're going to charge. And they are charging against ASB, and that is column 13, and they are also flanking them, which is position superiority. Let's roll. I roll a 9, so that's a really good roll, which means I take 1 hit, they take 6. Seeing as it's position superiority, they actually double it. So these guys, being AS, also get completely eliminated. So this group is now gone, and they move in here. So the Yamato have been very successful in this particular round. Now what we need to do is we need to check for the status of the troops. So for this we have the contingent flight tables. Depending on the number of units in the contingent, you have to check once they have been eliminated if they will still, if they have you know, been routed, disrupted, eliminated. So let's see. We have I hope that there's a list. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We have 2 eliminated contingents. The Mori have 2 victory points. Applies army routes when it accumulates route points. Route points are incurred for each routed or eliminated unit. Disrupted units are not counted. Okay, first we have to check if any of the contingents will run away. We have the Moriwaki, and the Moriwaki have 1, 2, 3 units. So if you have 3 combat units and 1 is eliminated, nothing happens. Okay. Fukubara have, okay, one, two. They also have 3, and with 1 gone, also nothing happens, so I don't have to worry about this. Okay. Now let's see. The route points for each group are as follows. Okay. KB is 6. 9, 14, and they are at, I'm going to make it right here, Mori 14. Amako is at 5, 8. And if Amako ever reaches 25, then Mori wins. Okay, well, at the moment, that's, you know, not too likely. So now what happens is we have the next round, and again we have to check who's going to be activated. But I think this is actually not really important anymore, because they're all next to enemy units. So it's the only group that is not activated is this group down here, but we're just going to keep them activated because Mori is just going to activate them on his next turn. So the next thing then would be the activation phase again, and we're going to roll for initiative. Mori is at 7 and Amako is at 10, so Amako gets to go. And this is going to be the last video for this particular battle, because now I want to play it through. And of course, when I make a video, it actually takes me longer to play the game, just so that I get a feeling for it. Because while I enjoy making the videos, it kind of takes away a little bit of the flow from the game. Okay.